Okay, so K6 is here. I'm going to unpack it. Then we will make some typing tests, see how it looks like, how it feels like, how it types like, how it sounds. Yeah, and then I would say let's get to modding. Try some new switches, maybe even loop them, stabilizer, modding, and so on and so forth. So, see ya. This one, the Keychron K6, has arrived and we're going to mod it. I quite like it so far. It's not as big as I thought it would be. It's still quite a chunky boy, but that's fine. I think with a wrist rest, it's fine. Even without, it's possible to hover a little bit over the board and type. But for longer typing sessions, I would definitely recommend a wrist rest. So if you compare this to the full-size GMMK, you can have a look. It's quite a difference. It's quite striking. But yeah, so we're going to mod these. I'm not quite sure yet which switches I will use. Probably try linears, so the creams, and tactile, so the keepwork tuckets as well. I will definitely mod the stabilizers. So I think for the spacebar it sounds really nice already, but for the other there's still too much rattle, I think. What else? Switch looping, I'm not sure yet, because it really takes a long time. I also do not have a switch opener. It is possible with some flat screwdriver. I already tried to open some of my switches and it took forever just for one switch. So I'm not sure if I will loop all my switches before, so prior to having the switch opener basically. I checked some stores, most seem to be out of stock for now, so I guess switch looping or modding is something for later. I quite like the weight. I like the feel to type on. Keycaps are nice. The tactile gaterons I chose are a little bit, they are fine, so I can feel the bump. But after using the burnt box orange switches for some time, they feel a little bit light to me. So they could be a little bit heavier. Haven't done typing tests yet, just, you know, some pretend typing to just hear the sound and get a feel for the board. So either I'm gonna try the Creams linear switches. I will try both. I will also try the Keychron K6 tactile switches. What else? I have more or less unusual size. I really like the cherry profile for the keycaps or OEM profiles. I've gone for a bit bigger profile now with MDAs. These are the MDA pineapples. Quite excited how they will look on the K6. One as well, a little type of foam just to have a sound dampening. I fear this one is not thick enough to have a nice dampening effect. I will just try, and if this should not suffice, I will just go to the next department store basically and watch for alternatives, look for alternatives. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do, so stay tuned. Hey guys, so I finished. I modded the K6. It came pre-lubed, the stabilizers, so the only thing I had to do was basically apply the foam pad inside, which was a little bit tricky. First I wanted to cut it into little pieces, but then I was like, fuck it, I will just make holes for the screws to screw it back in and just let pressure do the rest if you're putting it back together. And that worked as well. Yeah, apart from that, so like I said, I didn't loop the switches. I put in the tacket, and we'll do a sound test now. I put on the MDA size keycaps. And yeah, like I said, the stabilizers were already looped, factory looped, and pretty good looped, I would say. So I didn't do anything in that regard. Just Band-Aid modded it, and that's it. Put some foam in it, and I hope now it's going to be quieter. That's how it looks like right now. Pretty nice. I really like these keycaps, even if they are a little bit bigger than the OEM or cherry profile. So yeah, let's give it a shot and see how it sounds like. You can hear there's still some rattle left. I'm not entirely sure why. So these are the stabilizers, you can still hear them. That being said, I haven't clipped the feed from these stabilizers. They are also Cherry MX style, but the feet are much smaller than they were in the full size. So I guess even with the Band-Aid mod, this might be the source for the rattle. There still is some, so the spacebar is really nice. So these stabilizers on the K6 were pre-looped, factory looped, but they still have the feet and I did not clip them. May do so in the future, but I just assembled this board and I don't want to take it apart again. The spacebar is quite nice, I think. So the right shift still has a lot of rattle. This one, for some reason not. But I think this one has no stabilizer. So the return key also still has a little bit of rattle. Backspace as well. And this may be just because the feet are still on the stabilizers. So yeah, maybe in the future I will change that, but not for now. I really like the keycaps. The MDA profile is not as high as I thought, so it's pretty similar to the Cherry MX or the OEM profile, except for the upper row. So obviously the function keys here on the side do not quite match the profile, because on a full-size keyboard they would be somewhere else. And unfortunately there were no keycaps in this set that would have the right inclination, which I like very much. So I think I still prefer the OEM or Cherry MX profile, but the MDA feels very nice on the fingers. It's a kind of little mold you can get your fingers into. It is obviously a little bit higher, but I imagined that it would be much more pronounced, and it's still a really pleasant typing experience. So yeah, that's it for today. I might mod it a little bit more. I like the sturdiness of the K6. The aluminium bezels are just more or less, not a fake, but you know, it's not a full aluminium case. It's just plastic and basically has just a aluminium, how, yeah, should you call it? Aluminium bump, I think, like kinda like a bumper on a car somewhat. It gives a little bit heavier feel and more premium feel. It's still very stable, I think, and it's not light, but it's also not too heavy. You can still easily transport it. It just gives the whole thing a little higher quality feel, although I would prefer maybe a full aluminium case. That being said, the plastic still is quite sturdy. It doesn't have a lot of flags. It's very nice overall, I think, for the price point. So yeah, that's it for me, and maybe see you next time when I'm gonna mod a little bit further or change switches. I guess for the future at one point I will loop also the switches as well. That being said, they already feel very nice.